Have you ever said or heard it said about a couple, especially one in the public eye, who decided to call it quits? Well, hell, if they can't make it, I'm doomed. Well, there's a problem with that, and we're going to talk about it. So apparently, DeVon Franklin and Meagan, who was a favorite for many, has decided to call it quits. Well, I can't profess to know what's going on in their lives. While I've been in the company of the Franklins, I can't profess to know the Franklins. But I do know this. I know what it is to write a relationship book and be in the public eye and then call it quits. So if you want to know what happens in the life of the seemingly perfect couple who calls it quits, then that I can speak to. Hi, I'm Zara, and this channel is all about living clarity. I make it my business to dismantle myths, to recondition minds, and to give you some things that will put you on the path to happy, to help you live life with ease even when it's not easy. If all that sounds good to you, hit the subscribe button and engage, like, comment, share. Let's get started. Okay, so there are about 6 things I'm gonna hit. 3 are about marriage itself, and then 3 others to kind of help you to expand your consciousness about marriage, okay? But before I do that, I think it's important that we really consider the fact that anything that's going on, any interpretation we have, any perceptions we have about things, any ways that we view life, there's a premise by which we are operating from. So when we think about marriage itself, what premise does that typically come from? Well, certainly for DeVon and Meagan, we know that they are devout Christians. And while I'm not a devout Christian, was not to begin with, my partner was. Now, for many people, they might say that was already doomed to begin with. Well, hell, both of them are devout Christians. So how you didn't doom them from the beginning? We have to expand our ideologies because life is consistently changing. Marriage and the reasons people marry today are not the same reasons we married in the past. Now, there's only so much I'm gonna be able to cover today. And I think I'm gonna end up doing more of a series on this because this is not the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. Listen, marriage has gone through its own sets of evolutions. Each person goes through its own evolutions. And we have to get smarter about how we're doing relationships. So the premise of marriage, based in religion, not all Christianity, but religion, y'all, marriage is a social and religious construct that no longer fits in a lot of the ways that we live today. Meagan and DeVon do not have a typical relationship. They do not have a traditional kind of marriage. Even though they are Christian, her life, her lifestyle before they came together didn't fit the typical Christian molds. And there is nothing wrong with that. I am not Christian. I lived it once upon a time in my life. I'm a certified Christian minister, but it's not who I am. The man I married professed that he was a devout Christian. It wasn't who I was, neither how I was going to live. That was clear from the beginning. There are many people who are in relationships that do not share the same religions. Many succeed, some do not. I think the biggest thing to get out of this is to understand that marriage is a construct, and the rules within the construct cannot be applied to most people. Many things about marriage has changed, And we as a people need to change with it. Number 2, becoming one is a lie. It's the biggest lie ever told. Listen, we all evolve. We came on this planet for our own purposes. Each individual for your own purpose. For your own purpose, but to enjoy this experience with other people. Most marriages end in divorce. Most people gonna marry more than one time. Are we dooming folk for real for marrying and divorcing? I ain't, and I will not be doomed. I will not be doomed, neither am I a failure. Becoming one is a lie. Two people come together, both have already been on their own personal journeys. We come here for our own personal lives. Do we connect and able to sojourn together for a period? Yes. Are there some who do it for a lifetime? Yes. Will most? No. And that's okay. To become one is a lie. What ends up happening while people are trying to become one is that one person surrenders everything that's important to them in order to get behind another. Now, if you buy into the whole help me theory, then go ahead. I do not. I do not. In this marriage, I didn't before I said I do. He knew I didn't before I said I do. So my life's purpose will never be surrendered. And when I recognized that it meant one of us were going to have to be unhappy, then to me that says we're at a fork in the road. And the one thing I will never surrender as somebody who's taught personal development most of my adult life is what is important to me. Which leads me to the third point. Just because a marriage ends does not mean it was a failure. I wish another. Just because a marriage ends does not mean it's a failure. Me and that man did a lot of good work. I wish the hell somebody would look me in my face and call me a failure. Call that a failure. Call the grown zone a failure. We did damn good work for a long time. We helped a lot of people. We wrote a phenomenal book. I know what it's like to write a relationship book. I won't show him. But I know what it's like to write a relationship book with a partner and talk about how good things can be, because they can be good. My point the whole time has always been that if it ain't healthy, it ain't worth it. So it's about you getting healthy as an individual, making sure you're matching up with somebody who's healthy so that you can have a healthy, happy relationship. That does not mean the relationship will not end, or that you'll come to a fork in the road, or that the relationship will not run its course. Most relationships run their course, and that's okay. DeVon and Meagan did great work. They gave a lot of people hope. I get it. I get that people who have good relationships are inspirational when they are doing what I call her in the book, HER, honoring, esteeming, and respecting each other. And they do that publicly. Then that gives you feel goods. There's nothing wrong with being inspired by others. There's something wrong for sure in deciding that your life is or is not, can be or cannot be based on what somebody else's is. I think it's time that we catch up with the speed of change. Life has changed in so many ways. There is nothing about me that can ever surrender to the things of old that marriage said a woman's role is. I'm not a role, I'm an individual. If you're not a role and you are an individual, then you have to give yourself the 3 things that is in every publication I've ever produced. Compassion, acceptance, and forgiveness at all times so that you can move on. Those of us who say I do deserve a life after we say I don't. We deserve to be happy just like everybody else does. There is no punishment in deciding you don't want to be in a marriage. So what happens to people's lives in public? In their marriages, the same thing that happens in people's lives who are not in the public eye. They reach a point that they decide this just isn't working anymore. This is no longer good for us. And if it's not good for you, and it's something that you know you no longer want, it's okay to say, I change my mind. But what you will not do is look at a 10-year relationship and say it's a failure, especially when it's done so much good. I think it's time you go back, look at your premises, and do some reworking, some revising, and some new interpretations so that you can get a solid foundation and create the life you desire, and stop looking at other people's lives, deciding what yours is supposed to be. Because no two paths are supposed to be the same. And for anybody who says divorce is not supposed to be an option, then go ahead on with that. What I will not commit to is misery. The life that I now lead, which is a traveling one, living from country to country, is not the life that the man I was married to is interested in having. What am I going to do? Surrender my life so that people who see us can be happy? That's stupid. That's stupid. Stop it. That's stupid. Stop it. Am I to, even if when I said I do, this was not what I wanted. It's always been what I wanted. But if it wasn't what I wanted and I later changed my mind, do I not get to change my mind and grow and develop and expand? Yes, I do. Which leads me to the next points. These are ways that you can get unstuck when you are disappointed in what's happening in other people's lives. The first one I've already alluded to. Expand your own consciousness. Expand your own premises. Rework and revise outdated premises. Number 2, stop looking to duplicate other people's lives. You came for your own path and purpose. You have your own special gifts. There is something that is specifically charted for you within your own unique gifts. That is just for you, and it is absolutely amazing. So allow other people to live their own lives. Allow other people to do what you might consider a mistake, which to them would be expanding, because there are no mistakes. I say all the time, have said in every other publication, mistake is a myth, failure is fiction. There's only living, learning, expanding, growing, or not. If you neglect personal growth, then you will stay stuck in some stuff that does not allow you to grow. Number 3, mind your business. Get out of other folks' business. You don't know other people. You really don't. People think they know you because they see what's going on publicly. You share some of your life in social media. You don't know people. You don't know what's going on in other people's lives. You don't even know what's going on in the people in your family members' lives, in the people you consider close to you. You never know what's going on in two people's relationships. You don't. You can't. Don't let that disappoint you. Let that fortify you. Let that be what makes you really get interested in your own business. Get fortified to the point of being able to make whatever decisions you have to make for you, to make the best decisions for you in all situations. When I have to make decisions for me, I'm not afraid because I'm fortified. My resilience, honey, is fire. I know who I am. I know what makes me happy. I know what I need to do when trouble strikes. And trouble is going to strike everybody. And ultimately, the one you really need to put first always is you. Because once you are fortified and you can stand in the face of all challenge and trouble and go through that thing, you can come out on the other side better than ever, which is the intention. That is the intention of life. That is what life can do for you. That is what life's intention is for every single one of us. Never to face any kind of difficulty and not be able to come out smelling like a rose. I think I'm done. If you enjoyed this, then subscribe and engage. Like, comment, share. I will meet you in the comment section. Ooh, I can't wait to hear from y'all. And listen, it's your life. Choose it just as it is. Own it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Change it as long as you can breathe and learn. Oh, honey, it can get better. Bye for now. From Medellin, Colombia.